Why INFJs let people underestimate them. There is something strange about INFJs. People often underestimate them. They think you are quiet, soft, passive, easy to overlook. But they are wrong. Completely wrong. Because beneath that calm surface, there is depth, strategy, awareness, and a mind that sees everything. INFJs are not weak. They are not unaware. They are not naive. In fact, they often see more than anyone else in the room. So why does this keep happening? Why do people misjudge INFJs? Why do they assume less, when there is actually so much more? The answer is subtle, and once you understand it, everything changes. In this video, we will explore 12 deep reasons why INFJs let people underestimate them, and why this quiet pattern is not always a disadvantage. 1. INFJs do not feel the need to prove themselves. Most people want recognition. They want validation. They want to be seen. INFJs are different. You do not feel the same urge to prove your worth. You already know who you are, at least deep down. So you stay quiet. You observe. You let others speak. You let others show off, while you hold back. This creates a powerful illusion. People assume silence means lack of confidence. But for INFJs, silence often means control. You are not trying to impress. You are trying to understand. This is one of the most misunderstood INFJ traits. Because in a loud world, quiet people are often overlooked. But your strength is not in being loud. It is in being aware. 2. They observe before they act. INFJs rarely rush. You take your time. You watch. You listen. You analyze. This is driven by your natural intuition. You want the full picture, not just fragments. While others react quickly, you step back. And this can be misread. People think you are slow, indecisive, or unsure. But the truth is the opposite. You are gathering information, reading between the lines, understanding what is not being said. By the time you act, you already know more than most. This is why INFJs often surprise people. Because when you finally speak or act, it is precise, clear, and impactful. 3. INFJs hide their depth. You are deep, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, but you do not show everything. Not at once. Not to everyone. This is intentional. You test the space. You test the person. You ask yourself, is it safe to be fully seen here? If the answer is no, you stay on the surface. And because of this, people assume that surface is all there is. They do not see your insight, your intelligence, your complexity. They only see what you choose to reveal. This is why many INFJs are underestimated. Not because they lack depth, but because they protect it. 4. They avoid unnecessary conflict. INFJs do not enjoy conflict. Not pointless conflict. Not ego-driven arguments. So you often choose peace. You let things go. You stay quiet, even when you are right. This can be misunderstood. People think you cannot defend yourself, or that you do not have strong opinions. But that is not true. You simply choose your battles carefully. You ask yourself, is this worth my energy? If the answer is no, you walk away. This restraint is powerful. But to others, it can look like weakness. 5. INFJs are naturally humble. You do not feel comfortable boasting, talking about your achievements, highlighting your strengths. It feels unnatural, forced. So you downplay yourself. You minimize your abilities. You focus on others instead. This humility is rare and beautiful, but it comes at a cost. Because people only see what is visible. And if you do not show your strengths, they assume they are not there. 6. They adapt to their environment. INFJs are highly adaptable. You can adjust your behavior, your tone, your energy, depending on who you are with. This is part of your emotional intelligence. You read the room, and you respond accordingly. But this creates a side effect. You blend in too well. You become what the environment expects. And in doing so, you hide your true intensity, your real thoughts, your deeper personality. So people underestimate you. Because they never see your full self. 7. INFJs focus on others, not themselves. Your attention is outward. It naturally moves away from you and toward others. You notice people, not just what they say, but how they say it, the pauses, the tone, the subtle shifts. You notice emotions, even the ones that are hidden, even the ones people try to mask. You notice struggles, the quiet kind, the kind no one talks about. You notice needs, even when they are not expressed. This is part of your emotional intelligence, part of your INFJ empathy. You listen more than you speak, not because you have nothing to say, but because you want to understand fully. You ask questions, thoughtful ones, gentle ones, the kind that makes people feel seen. You support, without being asked, without expecting anything in return. And because of this, you slowly move into the background, not by force, but by choice. You become the quiet presence, the one who is always there, but rarely noticed, the observer, the one who sees everything, but is rarely seen. People get used to this. They rely on you. They open up to you. But they stop asking about you. They stop looking deeper. They assume you are fine. They assume you do not need the same support. And slowly, you become invisible. Not suddenly, but gradually, quietly. Not because you are insignificant. Not because you lack depth. But because you chose to focus on others and forgot to bring some of that attention back to yourself. 8. INFJs underestimate themselves first. This is one of the deepest reasons, and one of the hardest to notice, because it does not feel obvious. It does not feel intentional. Sometimes, you underestimate yourself, not loudly, not in a way others can see, but quietly, in the background, in your thoughts, in your hesitation. You question your ideas, even the good ones, even the ones that feel right. You second-guess your instincts, even when they have been right before. You wonder if you are right, even when you are. This is common in INFJ personality patterns, because your mind sees complexity. You see multiple perspectives. At the same time, you see multiple outcomes, possible futures, different paths. You see multiple possibilities. And because of this, certainty feels distant. It feels unclear. It feels complicated. So you pause. You hesitate. You hold back. And when you hesitate, others feel it. They pick up on it. Even if they do not understand it, they mirror it. If you doubt yourself, they begin to doubt you too. This is how perception is formed. Quietly, subtly, over time. The awareness here is powerful. People often see you the way you see yourself. Not always, but often. And when you begin to trust your voice, something shifts. Your tone changes. Your presence changes. Your energy becomes more grounded. And others start to listen differently. Not because you became louder, but because you became clearer. 9. They speak softly but think deeply. Your voice is calm, not rushed, not forced, measured, intentional, quiet. You do not feel the need to fill silence. You are comfortable with pauses, with space. You do not rush to speak. You wait. You observe. You process. You choose your words carefully. Because words matter to you. Meaning matters to you. This is part of your nature, part of your depth, part of your INFJ communication style. But in a world that values loud opinions, soft voices get overlooked. People often confuse volume with confidence. They assume louder means stronger, faster means smarter, and silence means uncertainty or lack of knowledge. But your thinking is not shallow. It is layered, thoughtful, carefully constructed, complex, insightful. You connect ideas others miss. You see patterns others ignore. You understand what is beneath the surface. And when you finally speak, it carries weight. It has depth. It has clarity. But many people never wait long enough. They interrupt. They move on. They fill the silence. So they assume there is nothing there. And that is where the misunderstanding begins. Not because you lack depth, but because the world moves too fast to notice it. 10. INFJs do not compete for attention. You are not driven by competition. Not in the usual way. You do not feel the need to stand out, to dominate, to prove yourself in every moment. You do not need to be the loudest, the most visible, the most recognized. You are comfortable in the background, observing, understanding, processing. You are present, but not performative. While others fight to be seen, you step back and let them. You allow space. You allow noise. You allow others to take the spotlight. This creates calm, but it also creates invisibility, because attention often goes to those who demand it, those who push forward, those who take up space, not those who quietly hold depth, not those who observe, not those who wait. And so, you are overlooked, not because you lack value, not because you lack intelligence, but because you do not chase recognition. You do not compete for it. You do not need it in the same way. And that difference is often misunderstood. 11. They reveal themselves slowly. Trust is not instant for you. It does not happen quickly. It is built, layer by layer, moment by moment, experience by experience. You do not open up fast. You take your time. You observe patterns, consistency, behavior over time. You pay attention to energy, how someone makes you feel, how they respond, how they show up. Only when you feel safe, truly safe, do you begin to open. You reveal your true self, your thoughts, your depth, your emotional world, your inner complexity. But most people never reach that level. They interact with your surface, the calm version, the simple version, the reserved version, and they assume that is all there is. They do not realize there is so much more beneath. Layers of insight, emotion, understanding, but they never see it, because they never stayed long enough. And that is why INFJs are often misunderstood in relationships and in social dynamics, because your depth is not immediate, it is not displayed, it is earned. 12. INFJs see no value in being understood by everyone. This is the final shift, and the most powerful one. At some point, you realize something. Not everyone will understand you, and more importantly, not everyone needs to. And that is okay. You stop trying to explain yourself to everyone. You stop over-explaining, oversharing, over-adjusting. You stop trying to fit into every space, every group, every expectation. You become selective. Not loudly, not aggressively, but quietly selective. You choose where to invest your energy, where to open up, where to stay reserved, where to give, where to step back. And because of this, some people never truly see you. They underestimate you, misjudge you, overlook you. But this no longer affects you the same way, because you are no longer trying to be understood by everyone, only by the right people. And that changes everything. The hidden advantage of being underestimated. Now here is something most people miss. Being underestimated is not always a weakness. Sometimes, it is an advantage. A quiet one, but a powerful one. When people underestimate you, they relax. They lower their guard. They stop trying to impress. They show their true intentions, their real personality, without filters, without effort. And you see it all, clearly, calmly, without pressure, without interference. This gives you insight, real insight, awareness, clarity. You understand people faster, more accurately. While others are trying to prove themselves, you are learning, observing, understanding, positioning yourself. And when the moment comes, you act. Not loudly, not dramatically, but effectively, with precision, with clarity. This is quiet power. And it is one of the greatest strengths of the INFJ personality, when underestimation becomes a problem. But there is another side, a more difficult side. When being underestimated becomes a pattern, it can start to affect your life, in subtle ways, but real ways. It can limit opportunities. People may overlook your potential. They may not see your capability. It can create misunderstandings, in relationships, in work, in communication. It can lead to being overlooked. In important moments, moments where your voice matters, your insight matters, your presence matters. This is where awareness becomes necessary. Because while you do not need to prove yourself to everyone, you do need to be seen in the right spaces. In your work, in your relationships, in your purpose. Sometimes, you need to speak, even when it feels uncomfortable. You need to step forward, even when you prefer the background. You need to show your capability, not for validation, not for approval, but for alignment, so your outer world matches your inner depth. The balance INFJs must learn. This is the key. Balance. Not extremes. Not silence or noise. But balance. You do not need to become loud, or aggressive, or someone you are not. You do not need to change your nature, but you do need to express yourself. Clearly, simply, confidently, calmly. You can still be quiet, and be powerful. You can still be gentle, and be respected. You can still be reserved, and be seen. It is not about becoming different. It is about becoming aligned, refining your presence, owning your voice, standing in your depth, without shrinking it. A quiet transformation. At some point, something shifts. Not suddenly, but gradually. You stop shrinking. In small ways. You stop holding back your insight. When it matters. You stop downplaying your depth. You stop making yourself smaller for comfort. You begin to speak. Not more, but with intention. You begin to show who you are. Without fear. Without apology. And something interesting happens. People start to notice. Not everyone, but the right ones. The ones who understand depth. The ones who value authenticity. The ones who are not afraid of quiet strength. The ones who can meet you where you are. And that changes everything. If you have been underestimated, there is nothing wrong with you. Not at all. It does not mean you are less. It does not mean you lack value. It often means the opposite. It means your depth is not obvious. Your strength is not loud. Your awareness is not visible to everyone. And that is okay. You were never meant to be understood by everyone. You were meant to be understood by the right people. So do not rush. Do not force. Do not shrink. Let people underestimate you if they choose. Let them misunderstand. Let them overlook. But never underestimate yourself. Because the moment you fully see your own depth is the moment everything begins to change.